So I was recently in LA for about a month, and honestly really enjoyed my time out there. But something that I noticed during my time out there was the amount of people that I just met, like complete strangers, that felt the need to share who it is that they know, what they've accomplished, how likely they are to succeed. And this was very consistent. And it really had me thinking, why were these people so keen on sharing all of these details about their lives to essentially a complete stranger? I remember friend groups in the past and how they always just all love to link up and discuss their dreams, talk about like what they got planned next, and like hyping each other up about like, yo, this is our year 2021, like this is our year 2022, this is our year, and just saying the same thing like year after year. In this video, we're gonna go over why moving in silence is your key to success and how you can start working towards your dreams without the need for external validation. So make sure you stick around to the end of this video because honestly, this might be the most important advice you get this year. So first, let's go over why it is that people love talking about their dreams to begin with. I'm sure you felt this before yourself. When you discuss your dreams and the things that you're excited for, you essentially get a hit of dopamine. You get like a little high because that's how powerful our minds are. It doesn't really know the difference between the future, the past, whatever it is that we're currently envisioning is what we're experiencing. So when we discuss our dreams with other people and we say them out loud and we say these things, we get a hit of dopamine, which gets us really going. And the more you do this, the less motivated you actually feel to take action towards your goals because you've talked about it so much, you've envisioned it so much, and you're essentially exerting that energy, which then makes you less inclined to take inspired action towards the actual goal. Again, something I found very consistent amongst a lot of people that I was speaking with was the ones who felt the need to discuss their goals and where it is that they're going the most were actually the ones who didn't have the best routines, weren't taking inspired action, didn't really demonstrate like a high level of discipline. So again, I'm just sharing my observations with y'all. This is what I've seen. And again, just going back to my time out in LA, I just couldn't believe it, bro. How consistent it was, where you just like hop up into a store, you just get into a conversation with like a stranger and like, yo, like I cut so-and-so's hair, or like, yo, I just did a tattoo for this person, or like, yo, I was just in the studio with them, like my manager just got a phone with so-and-so and like I'm gonna get them on a track. Like, and it's just like, why are you trying to get validation from a complete stranger? If you had as much confidence as you should in the process and in yourself, your capabilities, you wouldn't feel the need to get validation from me. You don't even know me. So with that being said, I think it's super important that you have the right friends because obviously you do become like the people you spend the most time with. And again, don't take what I'm saying out of context. I'm not saying like, don't discuss plans with friends at all whatsoever, but just make sure you're surrounding yourself with the right people because so as long as they actually do have the same goals as you and they are as committed to your goals as you are, then it's a healthy relationship and you guys can progress together. Whereas back when I was younger, there were a lot of the same patterns with these existing friend groups in regards to like, yo, like let's just link up and then we just kick it and essentially sit on the couch or sit in the car and just, talk about what we want our futures to look like. But that isn't the most ideal way to get your goals. You gotta surround yourself with winners. And this is something I've pondered on for like a minute. And I've had people like even ask me before too, like, bro, like I want to be able to surround myself with winners and like people that think like me, but everyone around me just isn't on my frequency. They don't think the way that I do. They don't have the same goals as me. This is something y'all really need to take in. We're in an era where online communities is everything, and this didn't exist before. You can't find friends outside, can't find friends at school, can't find friends in certain clubs or sports teams, whatever it is, man. If you just can't find people that align with you, go join some online communities, guys. There are so many people out there who have the same aspirations as you, and they essentially have the same problem as you, where they feel like they're alone essentially, or they just can't find the right pocket of people to like link up with and to feel motivated by. So I highly encourage you to just like check out some online groups, online communities of people who do have similar aspirations for their own lives and hold each other accountable and grow with each other essentially, right? So now again, going back to my first point in regards to external validation, you really need to ask yourself this because this is something that so many people become unconscious of, especially in today's day and age, man. Who are you competing with? Are you competing with yourself? Are you competing with someone on Instagram? Are you competing with your boys? Competing with your siblings? You should only be competing with yourself. And if you have the abilities to really hone in on that perspective of what the objective is, it's not to become better than he or she or, that dude that I saw on TikTok or YouTube, whatever it is. If you can really maintain a strong level of attention and focus and willpower on the fact that It's you versus you. You will have absolutely no need for external validation at all. And you won't feel the need to share these things with people you just met or people you barely know, like those dudes out in LA, like I was saying. It's you versus you, man. Again, the way social media is constructed nowadays, it's almost like they want us to compete against one another. They want us to constantly seek external validation. And it's like this constant hamster wheel of just trying to validate your existence. What a horrible way to utilize your own energy, man. You could use your energy way more efficiently if you just focus on yourself and being the best that you can be, not being better than so-and-so. And I gotta keep it real, y'all. This is one of the key concepts that I learned from Kobe, man. RIP to the GOAT, man. It's crazy, especially being out in LA. Like, Kobe was obviously very celebrated out there, and one of the people who have really inspired me in so many different ways, just in life in general, the mentality. Like, basketball was the craft, but it was the mindset at whatever it is that he was doing that really transcended basketball. One of the key concepts that Kobe taught me was it should always just be becoming the best version of yourself. Because obviously people in interviews ask him all the time, are you better than MJ? Do you consider yourself the GOAT? Are you top 5? All these questions. And he's like, I'm not worried about that. And you can tell by his responses that he was genuinely not worried about being compared to other people. His focus was so locked in on who he was, who he could become, and he was genuinely just so curious to be exposed to what his true potential was. And I think that's what it leads with, is the curiosity of what can I actually become? And if you're constantly comparing yourself to other people, that's like wasted attention and focus, you guys. So if you are someone that has issues with comparing yourself to other people, ask yourself, like, when you are on social media, are you scrolling mindlessly? And when you do start to, unconsciously compare yourself to other people, do you have the ability to sign off for a bit? But again, that takes a high level of awareness and discipline to be able to do that. Because I think it is very natural for a person to, go onto social media and to be scrolling. And then before they even know it, like, they almost see those posts on Instagram as a reminder of like what they're not doing in their own lives. They start comparing themselves, and then your energy just starts going down. But again, had you used that time and energy to put back into yourself, you wouldn't be worried about what other people are doing. So I encourage you to really maintain and practice a high level of awareness when you are using social media, because obviously platforms like this can be super powerful if you're intentional with them. But if you're unconscious on these platforms, it's gonna lower your energy, and there's no way getting around that, man. So I think it goes without saying, in order for you to build and to move in silence, it takes an immense amount of focus and persistence. You gotta be very consistent with your actions. You gotta establish your routines and be dedicated to those routines. In regards to fitness, I'm sure there are some of y'all that can relate. You ever been really consistent with your fitness routines, really consistent with your diet, eating clean, making sure you're not just eating like a bunch of fried foods, getting the balanced diets and whatnot. And then before you know it, one day you kind of just look in the mirror, like, oh damn, I definitely made some progress. But you were just so focused on the routine and being consistent with your habits. You weren't looking in the mirror every day, checking yourself out, how am I looking? It just kind of surprised you one day because you were so dedicated and consistent. So I think the same goes for working towards whatever goal that you have in place for yourself and moving in silence. It will start to unfold a lot faster if you just put your head down and focus. And you don't need to monitor the progress so closely because all of the focus is going into the goal and you're not putting your energy into talking about it with other people. This will actually help you move a lot more efficiently and effectively. And that's just facts, bro. So as I said, I'm actually traveling right now. I'm still in Tokyo. Been out here for about a month. I got a few weeks left. And I gotta tell y'all, man, when you're traveling, it can be really hard to maintain discipline and a routine, especially because you're in a new place and you want to be exposed to all these new experiences and environments. But regardless, I still make sure that I do what it is that I need to do because I'm focused on the goal. And because I'm focused on the goal and becoming the best version of myself, and I'm not worried about doing it for the likes of other people or trying to get better than so-and-so, it becomes easier to be consistent with it because there's more focus available to put back into myself. I came into my first Airbnb when I got into Tokyo. There's no gym within miles, bro. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is gonna be challenging. But it didn't matter. I literally brought out a towel and just got to work. So again, that just goes to show if you really gain clarity on what your purpose is, what the objective is and why, it's so much easier to demonstrate that level of discipline and to be consistent because you're not worried about doing it for the likes of others and you don't feel the need to talk about it with others because it's about you, man. It's about you. But I do think it's super important to still make note of the fact that it's still important to celebrate achievements. Don't get it twisted, man. I'm not saying it's supposed to be a dry process. You should enjoy it. You should have fun. And when you do take small wins, acknowledge those small wins and celebrate those achievements in whatever way works best for you. For me, close like a solid deal in our business. It's like take my girl out, like let's go for like a nice dinner or whatever. Something I can look forward to that will then refuel the motivation again to like keep it going. So still acknowledge the wins, man. Even the small ones, like just getting up early, staying dedicated to your routines, whatever it is, things that you might struggle with from time to time. Like if you're doing them consistently, bro, celebrate those small wins, you dig? Like that's just what it has to be. And y'all know something too, bro? Something about moving in silence that I think is super fulfilling is like leveraging that element of surprise. Like when you're not talking about stuff and you kind of just go away for a while, you put your head down, like I said, you lock in, you focus, and then the people around you or the people online, whatever it is, see that you have evolved and that you have leveled up. I think there's a lot of fulfillment that comes from that. Almost like seeing the disbelief of others in regards to your evolution. Some of y'all might take it as like a prideful thing. I don't. It is rewarding to be able to see that, and it's motivating as well. And I think it will actually motivate other people too. When you do leverage that element of surprise, because you are now living proof that if you sustain a certain level of focus for an extended period of time, good things will come out of it. It feels good on your end. I think it will motivate them, whether it's conscious or unconscious. Really, it just is a win-win. So keep that in mind too, because I think being aware of that will help you sustain that level of focus that I'm talking about. Remember, y'all, the most successful people are the ones who work quietly, diligently, and let their results do the talking. It's your time to build and to move in silence. Just trust the process, enjoy every step of the way, and put all of your energy back into yourself, guys, and believe in your journey. If this message resonated with you, share with someone who needs that extra bit of motivation, maybe a little help sharpening their focus a little bit. If you made it this far in the video, sending you much love, sending you lots of positive energy. And if you wouldn't mind dropping a like on the video for the boy, that would go a long way. Hope y'all have an amazing day, an amazing week. It is your boy KT, man. Signing off. I'll catch y'all in the next video. Bow.